The knife missed Zariah's throat by 3 inches. She hit the ground hard, palms scraping against broken glass as footsteps thundered behind her. The alley reeked of rotting fruit and piss, and somewhere in the distance, sirens wailed. Not for her. Never for her. You think you can just walk away? The voice belonged to Trayvon, and it was shaking. Not with fear, with rage. Zariah scrambled to her feet, blood trickling from her left palm. Her eyes darted to the fire escape 15 feet up. Too high. The dumpster blocked the other exit. She was boxed in, and Trayvon knew it. "I didn't take your money," she said, keeping her voice steady even as her heart hammered against her ribs. "Liar." He stepped closer, his shadow swallowing the dim streetlight behind him. "Keisha saw you. Said you were at my place Tuesday night." Tuesday night. The night everything went wrong. The night she wished she could erase from existence. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Zariah's fingers curled into fists. "Keisha's playing you. She's been playing you since day one, and you're too stupid to see it." The slap came fast. Her head snapped to the side, stars exploding behind her eyes. She tasted copper. "Say that again," Trayvon hissed. But Zariah wasn't looking at him anymore. She was looking past him, at the figure emerging from the shadows at the mouth of the alley. Tall, broad shoulders, moving with the kind of confidence that came from never having to look over your shoulder. The man stopped 5 feet behind Trayvon. "You got a problem here?" Trayvon spun around, and for a second nobody moved. The stranger's face was half hidden in darkness, but his eyes caught the light. Cold, calculating, dangerous. "This ain't your business," Trayvon said, but his voice had lost its edge. "I'm making it my business." Zariah should have run. She should have used the distraction to slip past both of them and disappear into the maze of backstreets she knew better than her own apartment. But something about the stranger made her pause. Something in the way he stood there, like he owned the concrete beneath his feet. Trayvon took a step back, then another. "This ain't over," he muttered, jabbing a finger at Zariah before he turned and walked away, his footsteps echoing long after he vanished around the corner. The stranger watched him go. Then he turned to Zariah. "You good?" She wiped blood from her lip with the back of her hand. "I didn't ask for your help. Didn't ask if you wanted it." He moved closer, and now she could see his face clearly. Mid-30s, maybe, sharp jawline, scar cutting through his left eyebrow. "You always make friends like that? You always stick your nose where it doesn't belong?" His mouth twitched, almost a smile. "Only on Thursdays." Despite everything, despite the adrenaline still flooding her system and the ache in her jaw, Zariah felt the corner of her mouth lift, just barely. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated. Giving your name meant something in this neighborhood. It meant you existed. It meant people could find you. "Zariah." "Demetrius." He held out his hand. She stared at it for a long moment before she shook it. His grip was firm but not crushing. "You need a place to clean up that hand?" Every instinct screamed at her to say no, to walk away, to forget this ever happened. But her apartment was 6 blocks away, and Trayvon knew where she lived. He'd be waiting. "Yeah," she said quietly. "All right." Demetrius turned and started walking. Zariah followed, keeping 2 steps behind, her eyes scanning every shadow. The streets were quieter now. Most people had the sense to be inside after dark, doors locked, curtains drawn. They turned down Lenox Avenue, past the bodega with the broken neon sign and the church with the boarded-up windows. Demetrius stopped in front of a narrow building wedged between a laundromat and a barbershop that had been closed for years. He pulled out a key. "3rd floor," he said. The stairwell smelled like mildew and cigarettes. Each step groaned under their weight. Zariah counted them out of habit. 37 steps to the 3rd floor. Always know your exits. Always know how fast you can run. His apartment was cleaner than she expected. Small but organized. A couch that had seen better days. A table with 2 chairs. Kitchen barely big enough for 1 person. But the floor was swept, and there weren't dishes piled in the sink. Bathrooms through there. He nodded toward a door on the left. First aid kits under the sink. Zoraya didn't move. Why are you helping me? Demetrius leaned against the counter, arms crossed. For a long moment, he just looked at her. Really looked at her, like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Because I know what it's like, he said finally. Being in a corner with nowhere to run. Something in his voice made her believe him. She nodded and headed for the bathroom. The water ran brown for a few seconds before it cleared. She washed the blood off her hands, hissing as the cuts stung. Nothing deep, nothing that needed stitches. She'd had worse. When she came back out, Demetrius was sitting at the table with 2 glasses and a bottle of whiskey. You drink? He asked. Not usually. Good night to start. He poured 2 fingers in each glass and slid one across the table. Zoraya sat down, cradling the glass in both hands. The silence stretched between them, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was the kind of quiet that came from 2 people who understood that some things didn't need explaining. Trayvon's going to come back, she said. I know. He's got friends, cousins, brothers who don't ask questions. I know. Zoraya took a sip. The whiskey burned going down. So what now? Demetrius leaned back in his chair, studying her with those cold, calculating eyes. Now you tell me why he really wants you dead. Her breath caught. I told you. He thinks I stole his money. And did you? The question hung in the air between them like smoke. Zoraya could lie. She was good at lying. But something about the way Demetrius was looking at her made her think he'd know. No, she said. But I know who did. Who? Zoraya set down her glass. Her hand was shaking. Just a little. Just enough to notice. His girlfriend, Keisha. She took $15,000 from his stash and pinned it on me because I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. What did you see? Zoraya's throat went dry. This was it. The moment she'd been running from for 3 days. The moment that would either save her or bury her. I saw her kill someone. Demetrius didn't flinch. Didn't blink. He just sat there, perfectly still, processing the information like a computer running calculations. Who'd she kill? He asked. A cop. The words dropped like stones into a well. For 5 full seconds, neither of them moved. Then Demetrius picked up his glass and drained it in one swallow. You're sure? I watched her put 3 bullets in his chest and dump him in the Hudson. And she knows you saw. Yeah. Demetrius poured himself another drink. That's a problem. No shit. He laughed. Actually laughed. A short, sharp bark that had no humor in it. You got yourself into one hell of a mess, Zoraya. Tell me something I don't know. He stood up and walked to the window, pulling back the curtain just enough to look down at the street. His posture changed. Tensed. Alert. What is it? Zoraya asked. Black SUV. Been parked across the street for the last 10 minutes. Engine running. Her stomach dropped. Trayvon. Don't know. But I'm not waiting to find out. He let the curtain fall and turned to face her. You got anywhere safe you can go? If I did, I'd already be there. Demetrius crossed his arms, thinking. The muscles in his jaw worked. Then he looked at her, and something shifted in his expression. A decision made. All right, he said. You're staying here. What? No, I can't. You go out that door, you're dead before you hit the sidewalk. You know it. I know it. He grabbed his jacket from the back of the chair. I'm going to deal with whoever's downstairs. You stay put. Lock the door behind me. Don't open it for anyone. Where are you going? But Demetrius was already at the door. He paused, hand on the knob, and looked back at her one more time. To make sure you live long enough to testify against a cop killer. Then he was gone, and Zoraya was alone in a stranger's apartment with a dead cop's ghost and a question burning in her mind. Who the hell was Demetrius? And why did he care if she lived or died? What do you think Zoraya should do? Should she trust Demetrius or run while she has the chance? Zoraya locked the door with shaking hands and pressed her ear against the wood. Footsteps descended the stairs. Heavy. deliberate, then nothing. She crossed to the window and peered through the gap in the curtain. The SUV sat like a predator across the street, windows tinted so dark they looked painted on. No movement, no sign of Demetrius. 30 seconds passed. A minute. Her pulse hammered in her temples. Then she saw him. Demetrius walked straight toward the SUV like he was meeting a friend for coffee. No hesitation, no fear. The kind of walk that said he'd done this 1,000 times before. He knocked on the driver's window. Zoraya's breath caught. This was insane. You didn't just walk up to a car full of gangsters and knock on the window like you were asking for directions. You ran. You hid. You survived. The window rolled down an inch. She couldn't hear what was being said, but she could see Demetrius's body language. Relaxed, almost casual. He gestured with one hand, the other hanging loose at his side. Then everything went wrong. The back door of the SUV flew open and 2 men jumped out. Big, armed. They grabbed Demetrius by the arms and slammed him against the car. One pressed a gun to the back of his head. Zoraya's hand flew to her mouth. She should look away. She should run. She should do anything except stand here and watch a stranger die because of her. But she couldn't move. Demetrius said something. She saw his lips move, saw one of the men lean in closer. Then, impossibly, they let him go. The man with the gun stepped back, holstered his weapon, said something that made Demetrius laugh. Actually laugh. Then all 3 of them got back in the SUV and drove away. Zoraya stared at the empty street, her mind trying to process what she'd just witnessed. That wasn't how these things ended. Nobody walked away from a gun to the head with a handshake and a smile. Unless they were police. Or worse. The door rattled. 3 sharp knocks. "It's me," Demetrius called. "Open up." She unlocked the door and he slipped inside, checking the hallway before closing it behind him. He didn't look shaken, didn't look scared. He looked annoyed, like someone had just cut him off in traffic. What the hell was that? Zoraya demanded. Old friends. He walked past her to the kitchen and pulled out a beer from the fridge, twisted off the cap and took a long drink. They were looking for someone. Told them I hadn't seen anybody. And they just believed you? I can be very convincing. Zoraya's eyes narrowed. Who are you? Already told you. Demetrius. That's not what I mean. Normal people don't walk up to armed men and walk away breathing. Normal people don't have old friends who show up with guns looking for people. She stepped closer. What are you? He met her eyes over the bottle, considered his answer. Then he set the beer down and sighed. I used to work for Malik Jennings, he said quietly. You know that name? Everyone knew that name. Malik Jennings ran the South Side. Drugs, guns, protection, gambling. If money changed hands in this part of the city, Malik got his cut. And people who crossed Malik tended to disappear. You're one of his enforcers, Zoraya said. It wasn't a question. Was. Past tense. I got out 2 years ago. Paid my debt, walked away clean. Or as clean as you can walk away from something like that. He picked up the beer again. But people remember. And sometimes that memory's useful. Those men in the SUV work for Malik? They work for his cousin, Rashid. Lower-level operation. Mostly stolen cars and shakedowns. They were looking for a girl who ripped off one of their gambling houses last week. I told them she went north to Buffalo. Did she? No idea. But it'll take them a few days to figure that out. He studied her face. You think I should have let them search the building? Let them find you? Zoraya's jaw tightened. I think I don't know if I can trust you. Smart. You shouldn't trust anyone. But right now I'm the only thing standing between you and a shallow grave, so maybe extend a little faith. He had a point. A frustrating, undeniable point. Zoraya sank into the chair, suddenly exhausted. The adrenaline was wearing off, leaving behind an ache that settled in her bones. What do you want from me? Want from you? Nobody does something for nothing. You risked your life down there. Why? What's in it for you? Demetrius pulled out the other chair and sat across from her. His expression softened, just a fraction. You really want to know? Yeah. 3 years ago, my sister got mixed up with the wrong people. She saw something she wasn't supposed to see, just like you. And nobody helped her. Nobody stood up. Nobody gave a damn. His voice went flat. Empty. They found her body in a dumpster behind a Chinese restaurant on Fulton Street. The air left the room. Zoraya's throat tightened. I'm sorry, she whispered. Don't be sorry. Be smart. Be careful. And maybe, if we're lucky, be alive when this is over. He leaned forward, elbows on the table. That cop Keisha killed. You know his name. I heard her say it. Officer Marcus Webb. Demetrius's entire body went rigid. The beer bottle paused halfway to his mouth. His eyes went cold and hard as granite. Say that again. Marcus Webb. Why? You know him. He set the bottle down very carefully. Too carefully, like he was afraid he might crush it. Yeah, I know him. Or I knew him. He stood up and walked to the window again, hands shoved deep in his pockets. Marcus was dirty. Everyone knew it. He ran protection for Malik's operation. Made sure shipments got through, looked the other way when he needed to. But he was careful. Covered his tracks. So why would Keisha kill him? That's the question. Demetrius turned to face her. Marcus was useful. You don't kill useful people unless they become dangerous. What exactly did you see that night? Zoraya closed her eyes, pulling up the memory she'd been trying to bury for 3 days. I was at Trayvon's place dropping off some money I owed him. He wasn't home, but Keisha let me in. Said to wait. Then someone knocked on the door. She told me to hide in the bedroom. And I heard arguing, shouting. Marcus saying something about how she wasn't supposed to contact him directly. How she was compromising everything. Then Keisha said something I couldn't quite hear. And he laughed. Called her stupid. Said she was in over her head. Then what? Then 3 gunshots. I looked through the crack in the door and saw Marcus on the floor. Blood everywhere. Keisha standing over him with a gun. Zoraya's hands clenched into fists. She made a phone call, told whoever answered that it was done. That the cop wouldn't be a problem anymore. Demetrius was silent for a long moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was barely above a whisper. Did she say who she was calling? No, but whoever it was, they had money. Real money, because the next thing I knew, she was shoving bricks of cash into a duffel bag. Had to be at least 50 grand. Maybe more. Jesus. Demetrius ran a hand over his face. She killed a cop and got paid for it. That's a hit. Professional. Which means someone wanted Marcus dead bad enough to risk bringing down heat on the whole operation. Who would want him dead? That's what we need to find out. Because whoever ordered that hit has connections. Power. And if they find out you're a witness, they won't send Trayvon and his idiot cousins after you. They'll send professionals. He grabbed his jacket. We need to move. Now. Zoraya jumped to her feet. Move where? Somewhere safe. I know a place. Old warehouse on the east side. Nobody uses it anymore. We can hide there while I make some calls. Figure out who's pulling the strings. I'm not going to some abandoned warehouse in the middle of the night with a man I just met. You got a better idea? She didn't. That was the problem. Every option was bad. Every choice could get her killed. But at least with Demetrius, she had a chance. A small one, but better than nothing. Fine, she said. But I want answers. Real answers. About who you are and why you're really helping me. Deal. But first we survive. Then we talk. He opened the door and checked the hallway. Stay close. Stay quiet. And whatever happens, don't run unless I tell you to run. They took the back stairs, moving through the shadows like ghosts. The night air was cold, carrying the smell of rain and exhaust. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked. Car alarm wailed and went silent. Demetrius led her through a maze of alleys and side streets, always checking corners, always watching their backs. Twice he pulled her into doorways as cars passed. Once he made her wait while he circled an entire block just to make sure they weren't being followed. The warehouse was exactly what she expected. Rusted metal siding, broken windows, a chain-link fence with holes cut through it like missing teeth. But when Demetrius unlocked the side door and they stepped inside, Zariah stopped dead. It wasn't abandoned. The space had been converted into a living area. A bed in one corner, a table with maps and papers spread across it, a laptop, a mini fridge, camping lanterns providing soft light that didn't reach the windows. "You've been living here," she said. "Sometimes, when things get complicated." He locked the door behind them and activated a security system that looked like it belonged in a bank. "Malik doesn't know about this place. Nobody does. You're safe here." Zariah walked to the table and looked at the maps. They were marked with red circles and handwritten notes. Names, dates, addresses. What is all this? Insurance. Demetrius came to stand beside her. "When I left Malik's organization, I made sure I had leverage. Information, locations of stash houses, names of dirty cops, details about shipments and payoffs, everything I could find. Because I knew someday they might come for me, and I wanted ammunition. You're building a case against them. I'm building an escape plan. If things go sideways, I hand this to the feds and disappear into witness protection." He met her eyes. "And now you're part of that plan. Because your testimony about Marcus Webb's murder could bring down people a lot bigger than Keisha." "Like who?" Before he could answer, his phone buzzed. He looked at the screen and his expression hardened. "What?" Zariah asked. "We've got a problem. Big one." He turned the phone so she could see the message. It was a photo, grainy, taken from a security camera. It showed her and Demetrius entering the warehouse 5 minutes ago. Below the photo, 3 words. "I see you. Do you think they can make it out alive? Who do you think is watching them?" The phone slipped from Demetrius's hand and clattered on the concrete floor. Neither of them moved to pick it up. "Who sent that?" Zariah's voice cracked like thin ice. "Unknown number." Demetrius was already moving, grabbing the laptop, shoving papers into a backpack. "But they've got access to cameras, which means either police or someone with serious tech resources. We need to leave." "No. If they're watching the cameras, they're watching the exits. We leave now, we walk right into them." He pulled out a gun from under the table and checked the clip. "How many people knew you saw Keisha kill Marcus?" "Nobody. I didn't tell anyone." "You must have told someone, or done something that tipped them off." Zariah's mind raced back through the last 3 days. Running, hiding, staying off her phone, avoiding everyone she knew. "I swear I didn't. The only person who knows is Keisha herself because she saw me leaving the apartment. That's why she framed me for the money. She knew I'd run and that would make me look guilty." Demetrius's jaw clenched. "Then she told someone with resources, someone who's now hunting you." He opened a metal cabinet and pulled out another gun, held it out to her. "You know how to use this?" Zariah stared at the weapon. "Black, heavy, real." "No. Learn fast. Safety's here. Point and shoot. Don't aim for the head. Center mass. Keep pulling the trigger until they stop moving." She took the gun with trembling hands. It was heavier than she expected. Cold. "I'm not a killer. You will be if you want to live through tonight." He moved to a laptop on the table and started typing. "I'm checking the security feeds around the building. If someone's watching, maybe I can figure out where they are." The screen flickered to life, showing 4 different camera angles. The alley behind the warehouse, the street out front, the side entrance they'd used, and a 4th angle she couldn't quite place. "There." Demetrius pointed at the screen. "Black sedan, 2 blocks east. Been sitting there for 8 minutes. Windows up, engine running. Could be anyone. At 2 in the morning in this neighborhood? Nobody parks here unless they're buying or selling. And I don't see any customers." He zoomed in on the image, but the resolution was too low to make out faces through the windshield. "We need to know who that is. How do we do that without getting killed?" Demetrius pulled out his phone and dialed. Someone answered on the first ring. "Yeah, it's me. I need a favor." Pause. I'm sending you a license plate. I need to know who owns the car. Fast. Another pause. I don't care what you're doing. This is priority. He hung up and looked at Zoraya. My contact will have an answer in 5 minutes. Then what? Then we decide if we're dealing with cops, criminals, or something worse. Zoraya's grip tightened on the gun. What's worse than cops or criminals? Government, federal agencies, intelligence, people who operate outside the law because they are the law. He glanced at her. You said Keisha got paid 50 grand for killing Marcus. That's not street money. That's contract money. Someone hired her to take out a dirty cop, which means someone's cleaning house. Why would the government want to kill one of their own cops? Because Marcus knew something, or had something, or was going to talk. Demetrius's phone buzzed and he looked at the screen. His face went pale. Damn. What? He turned the phone toward her. On the screen was a DMV record. The black sedan was registered to a shell corporation. But below that was a note from his contact. Sayar flagged as federal. DOJ or FBI. Back off. They're feds, Zoraya whispered. Or someone pretending to be feds. Demetrius paced the length of the warehouse. Either way, we're in deeper than I thought. If the FBI is involved, that means Marcus's death is part of a bigger investigation. And you're either a witness they want to protect or a loose end they want to tie up. How do we know which one? We don't. Not until they make a move. He checked his watch. But sitting here waiting to find out is a good way to end up dead. A sound echoed from outside. Metal on metal. Someone trying the door. Demetrius moved like water, smooth and fast. He killed the lights, plunging the warehouse into darkness. Zoraya's heart hammered so hard she thought her ribs might crack. She could feel him next to her, close enough that his breath touched her ear. Don't move, he whispered. Don't make a sound. The door rattled again, then stopped. Footsteps moved around the perimeter of the building. Slow, methodical, searching for another entrance. Zoraya's finger found the trigger on the gun. She'd never shot anyone. Never even held a real gun before tonight. But if someone came through that door, she'd pull the trigger. She had to, because the alternative was letting them kill her, and she wasn't ready to die. The footsteps stopped directly outside the window 10 feet to their left. A flashlight beam cut through the darkness, sweeping across the interior, passed over the table, the bed, the maps, moving closer to where they crouched behind a stack of crates. Zoraya held her breath. The beam was 5 feet away. 4, 3. Then a phone rang outside. The flashlight jerked away as someone answered. Yeah. A man's voice. Deep. Authoritative. No sign of entry. Building looks abandoned. Pause. Copy that. Moving to secondary location. The footsteps retreated. A car door slammed. An engine started and faded into the distance. Demetrius waited a full 2 minutes before he moved. He crept to the window and peered out through a crack in the boards. They're gone. For now. Zoraya released a breath she didn't know she was holding. What do? We can't stay here. They'll be back with warrants or backup or both. He pulled out his phone and started deleting files. I'm wiping the location data, clearing the browser history. If they get in here, I don't want them finding anything useful. Where do we go? There's only one person who can tell us what's really happening. Only one person who knows why Keisha killed Marcus and who paid her to do it. He looked at Zoraya. We need to talk to Trayvon. Are you insane? He wants me dead. He wants you dead because Keisha convinced him you stole his money. But if we can prove Keisha's lying, prove she's the one who set him up, he'll turn on her faster than a snake. Demetrius grabbed the backpack and slung it over his shoulder. Trayvon's a lot of things, but he's not stupid. He knows the streets. If Keisha's mixed up in something federal, he'll want out before it blows back on him. And if you're wrong, if he shoots first and asks questions never, then we shoot back. He handed her a jacket. Put this on. Hood up. Head down. We move fast and we move quiet. They slipped out the side door and into the pre-dawn darkness. The sky was turning gray at the edges, that dead hour before sunrise when the world held its breath. The streets were empty except for a homeless man sleeping in a doorway and a cat picking through garbage. Demetrius led them through a series of back alleys, avoiding main roads, sticking to the shadows. Twice they had to duck behind dumpsters as police cars rolled past, spotlights sweeping the streets. "They're looking for us," Zariah said. "Or they're looking for someone else. Either way, we're ghosts. We don't exist until we want to exist." 20 minutes later, they arrived at a rundown apartment building on the west side. Graffiti covered the walls. Windows were boarded or broken. The front entrance hung open on broken hinges. "Trayvon lives here?" Zariah asked. "Third floor, apartment 3C. Demetrius checked his gun and started up the stairs. "Let me do the talking. You stay behind me. If things go bad, you run. Don't stop. Don't look back. Just run." "Where do I run to?" "East toward the river. There's a church on Parkside Avenue. Father Jerome runs it. Tell him Demetrius sent you. He'll hide you until I can get word to you." "What about you?" "I'll be fine. I've been shot at before." He tried to smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Usually I survive." They climbed the stairs in silence. The building smelled like mold and desperation. Somewhere a baby cried. Music thumped through thin walls. Apartment 3C was at the end of the hall. Demetrius knocked 3 times. Waited. Knocked again. The door cracked open an inch. A chain lock held it in place. One eye appeared in the gap. "Who's that?" "Need to talk to Trayvon. It's important." "Trayvon ain't here." "Where is he?" "None of your business." Demetrius pulled out a $50 bill and held it up. "Make it my business." The eye studied the money. The door closed. The chain rattled. The door opened. A young woman stood there. Couldn't be more than 19. Tank top and sweatpants. Suspicious eyes. "Trayvon left 2 hours ago. Didn't say where." "Was he alone?" "Keisha was with him. And some other dude I never seen before. White guy. Suit and tie. Looked like a cop or a lawyer or something." Demetrius and Zariah exchanged looks. "This man," Demetrius said carefully. "What did he look like?" "Tall. Maybe 50. Gray hair. Had a scar on his neck. Right here." She pointed to the left side of her throat. Trayvon seemed scared of him. Real scared. Not the usual Trayvon acting tough. Like actually scared. Demetrius's jaw tightened. "They say anything? Anything at all?" Keisha said something about finishing the job. The white guy laughed and said something about loose ends. The girl shrugged. "I went back in my room. Ain't my business." "One more thing," Demetrius said. "This white guy, he wearing a ring? Gold band on his right hand." "Yeah." "How'd you know?" Demetrius's face went hard as stone. He turned to Zariah. "We need to leave. Now." "Why? Who is he?" "His name is Vernon Cross. And if he's involved, we're all already dead." "Who is Vernon Cross? And why does his involvement change everything?" "Drop your theories below." They were back on the street in seconds, moving fast, weaving through early morning traffic. Zariah's lungs burned, but she kept pace with Demetrius, afraid that if she fell behind even for a moment, she'd lose him forever. "Who's Vernon Cross?" she gasped. "Later. Right now we focus on not dying." He pulled her into a narrow gap between 2 buildings, pressing them both flat against the brick. His hand covered her mouth just as a black SUV rolled past, windows down, 2 men scanning the sidewalks with predator eyes. The SUV turned the corner and disappeared. Demetrius lowered his hand but didn't move away. "Vernon Cross is a fixer. Works for people with power and money who need problems to disappear. Witnesses, evidence, bodies. He's been connected to at least 12 murders that we know of, but nobody can prove anything. He's smart, careful, and he doesn't leave loose ends." "Meaning me, meaning both of us. If he knows I'm helping you, I'm just as dead." He peered around the corner. "We can't go to my contacts. He'll have eyes on anyone I might reach out to. Can't go to the police because half of them are probably on his payroll. Can't run because he's got resources we don't. Then what do we do? Demetrius was quiet for a long moment, thinking. His eyes moved like he was calculating angles, probabilities, survival odds. We do the one thing he won't expect. We go on offense. Offense? Against a professional killer? Against the person who hired him. Vernon's just the weapon. Someone's pulling the trigger. He started walking again, but slower now, deliberate. Marcus Webb was dirty but useful. Someone wanted him dead anyway. Paid Keisha to do it. Now they're using Vernon to clean up witnesses. Which means whoever's behind this has serious power and something massive to hide. How do we find them? We follow the money. Keisha got paid 50 grand for the hit. That money came from somewhere. Had to be transferred, laundered, moved through accounts. He pulled out his phone. I know a guy who specializes in financial forensics. Owes me a favor. Another old friend from Malik's crew? Something like that. He dialed and waited. Jamal, it's Demetrius. Pause. I need you to trace a transaction. 50,000 cash. Paid to Keisha Morrison approximately 3 days ago. I need to know where it came from. Another pause. Longer this time. I know what I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you. His voice dropped. Because I kept your name out of the federal investigation 3 years ago, and you said if I ever needed anything. Silence. Yeah, thought so. How long? He checked his watch. I'll call you back in an hour. He hung up and looked at Zariah. He'll find it, but we need to stay moving. Standing still makes us targets. They walked for 20 minutes, changing direction randomly, doubling back, using every trick Demetrius knew to lose a tail. The sun was fully up now, the city waking. People heading to work. Kids walking to school. Normal life happening all around them while Zariah's world collapsed into a nightmare of bullets and federal fixers. Tell me about your sister, Zariah said quietly. Demetrius glanced at her. Why? Because you said nobody helped her. But you're helping me. I want to know why. He was silent for so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then he spoke, his voice rough with old pain. Her name was Shanice, 23 years old. Worked 2 jobs trying to save money for college. Smart, funny, had her whole life ahead of her. He shoved his hands in his pockets. She started dating this guy, Andre. Seemed nice enough at first, but he was running with Malik's crew, moving product on the side. She didn't know. By the time she figured it out, she was in too deep. What happened? She witnessed a deal go bad. A shooting. Andre told her to keep her mouth shut. But Shanice wasn't built that way. She had principles, morals, all the things that get you killed in this life. His voice cracked. She went to the police, filed a report. 2 days later, they found her body. Official report said it was a robbery gone wrong. But I knew better. I knew Malik had her killed for talking. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't bring her back. Sorry doesn't change the fact that I was working for the same man who murdered my sister. He stopped walking and turned to face her. That's when I got out, paid my debts, walked away. But I swore I'd never let another woman die because nobody had the guts to stand up. So yeah, I'm helping you. Not because I'm a good person. Because I failed Shanice, and I won't fail again. Zariah felt tears prick her eyes. You're not responsible for what happened to her. Tell that to my conscience. He started walking again. Come on. We've got work to do. His phone rang. Jamal calling back already. Demetrius answered. Yeah. His expression changed. Hardened. You're sure? Pause. Send it to this number. Encrypted. He rattled off a series of digits and hung up. 30 seconds later, his phone buzzed with an incoming message. He opened it and read. His face went pale. What? Zariah asked. The money that paid Keisha came from an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. Account holder is a shell corporation called Sentinel Holdings. Jamal traced it back through 3 layers of corporate paperwork. He looked up at her. It's owned by a subsidiary of the Department of Justice. The words hit like a physical blow. The DOJ paid Keisha to kill a cop? Not the DOJ itself. Someone inside the DOJ. Someone with access to discretionary funds and the ability to move money without oversight. Demetrius scrolled through the information. Sentinel Holdings was created 6 months ago. It's been used to fund 3 other operations since then. All classified. All off the books. What kind of operations? The kind that don't exist on paper. Black ops. Renditions. Targeted eliminations. He looked at her. Marcus Webb wasn't just a dirty cop. He was part of something bigger. And someone at the DOJ wanted him dead before he could talk about it. Zariah's mind spun. But why use Keisha? Why not just have Vernon Cross do it? Because using a civilian creates distance. If it goes wrong, it's just a domestic dispute. A girlfriend who snapped. No connection to the government. He pocketed his phone. But now you're a witness. And witnesses to government-sanctioned murders don't usually live long enough to testify. So what's our play? We expose them. Go public. Give the information to journalists, activists, anyone with a platform. He pulled up a contact on his phone. I know a reporter. Works for an independent news site. She's published stories on government corruption before. If we can get this information to her. A shot rang out. The window of the store beside them exploded in a shower of glass. Demetrius grabbed Zariah and yanked her down behind a parked car. Go! He shouted. Run! But she couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Her body locked up with terror as more shots cracked through the air. Bullets punched into the car above their heads. Tires exploded. People screamed and scattered in every direction. Demetrius returned fire, his gun barking 3 times in quick succession. Zariah, move! She forced her legs to work, scrambled forward, staying low, using parked cars for cover. Demetrius was right behind her, firing backward at shapes she couldn't see clearly. 2 men in dark clothes. Professional. Efficient. Vernon Cross's men. They ran into an alley. Demetrius kicked open a door and shoved her inside. A restaurant kitchen. Empty at this hour. Stainless steel gleaming. The smell of old grease and bleach. Back door, Demetrius said. Go. They burst out into another alley. Turned left, then right, a maze of backstreets and fire escapes. Behind them, footsteps pounded. Getting closer. Demetrius pulled her into a recessed doorway and they pressed themselves into the shadows. 3 men ran past without seeing them. Vernon Cross's crew, spreading out, hunting. They've got radios, Demetrius whispered. They're coordinating. We can't outrun them. Then what? He looked at her, and for the first time since they met, she saw real fear in his eyes. Then we hope I'm as good at this as I used to be. He pulled out his phone and sent a text. Zariah couldn't see who to or what it said. Then he put the phone away and checked his gun. 3 bullets left. When I move, he said quietly, you go the opposite direction. Head for the church I told you about. Find Father Jerome. Give him this. He pressed something into her hand. A thumb drive. Everything Jamal sent me is on there. Financial records. Corporate structures. Proof that someone in the DOJ is running illegal operations. Get it to the reporter whose contact information is also on the drive. Her name's Simone Pierce. I'm not leaving you. You don't have a choice. They want both of us dead. But they need you dead more. You're the eyewitness. Without you, they can spin the story any way they want. His jaw set. I'm going to draw them off. Give you time to run. Demetrius. No arguments. This isn't heroic. This is math. One of us needs to survive to tell the story, and you're the one who saw the murder. He gripped her shoulder. Don't let Shanice and Marcus die for nothing. Don't let Keisha and Vernon and whoever's pulling their strings win. Tears streamed down Zariah's face. I don't even know you. Yeah, you do. I'm the guy who should have saved his sister. But maybe I can still save you. He squeezed her shoulder once and then stepped out of the doorway, firing 2 shots that echoed like thunder. Men shouted, returned fire. Demetrius ran, drawing them after him like a comet pulling debris in its wake. Zariah stood frozen for 3 heartbeats. Then she ran the other direction, clutching the thumb drive so tightly the edges cut into her palm. Behind her, gunfire erupted like fireworks. She didn't stop, didn't look back. She ran through alleys and across streets, past shocked pedestrians and honking cars, ran until her lungs screamed and her legs threatened to give out. The church appeared like a mirage. Small, old, stained glass windows catching the morning sun. She stumbled up the steps and through the door. Inside was dim and cool. Empty pews, the smell of incense and old wood. A man in priest's robes stood near the altar, arranging flowers. "Father Jerome?" Zariah gasped. He turned. Kind eyes, silver hair, weathered face that had seen too much suffering. "Yes, child. How can I help you?" "Demetrius sent me." His expression changed instantly. He set down the flowers and hurried to her. "Are you hurt?" "No. But Demetrius," he drew them away. "I don't know if he's—" Her voice broke. Father Jerome took her arm gently. "Come. There's a room in the basement. You'll be safe there." He led her toward a door behind the altar. "Demetrius called me 10 minutes ago. Told me you might be coming. Told me what you're carrying." "Then you know." "I know enough. I know powerful people want you dead. I know Demetrius is risking everything to protect you." He opened the door to reveal stairs descending into darkness. "I also know that sometimes the only way to fight the devil is to drag him into the light. Whatever's on that drive, we need to get it to people who can expose the truth." They descended into the basement. A small room with a cot, a lamp, and a laptop. Father Jerome closed the door and locked it. "You'll stay here until we hear from Demetrius or until it's safe to move you." He gestured to the laptop. "Upload the files. Send them to this reporter. Do it now before they track you here." Zariah sat at the laptop with shaking hands. Inserted the thumb drive. Files appeared on the screen. Financial records, corporate documents, everything Jamal had found. And there, at the bottom of the folder, a video file. Her finger hovered over it. She clicked. The video opened. Security camera footage. Black and white. Timestamp from 3 days ago. It showed Marcus Webb meeting with a man in a parking garage. They talked for 2 minutes. Then the man handed Marcus a briefcase. Marcus opened it, looked inside, and his face went white. He tried to run. The man pulled a gun and shot him twice in the back. Marcus fell. The man stepped over his body, picked up the briefcase, and walked away. Zariah's blood turned to ice. Because she recognized the shooter. The man who killed Marcus Webb wasn't Keisha. It was Vernon Cross. And the person who handed Vernon the briefcase, the person who set up the whole operation, was standing right there in the frame. A woman in a business suit, FBI badge clipped to her belt. Face clearly visible. Deputy Director Angela Hartman of the Department of Justice. What should Zariah do with this evidence? Is anyone safe to trust? Zariah stared at the screen, her heart hammering against her ribs. The video kept playing. Vernon Cross calmly shooting Marcus Webb. Deputy Director Hartman walking away like she'd just finished a business meeting. "Father Jerome," Zariah whispered, "you need to see this." The priest leaned over her shoulder. His face went pale. "Dear God, Keisha didn't kill Marcus. Vernon did. And this woman ordered it." Zariah's hands shook as she paused the video on Hartman's face. Why would Demetrius think Keisha was the killer? Because that's what someone wanted him to think. Wanted everyone to think. Father Jerome straightened. "This is bigger than we imagined. A deputy director of the DOJ doesn't order a hit unless she's protecting something massive. But I saw Keisha at Trayvon's place with the gun. With the blood. You saw what they wanted you to see. A setup. Stage the scene, make sure you're there to witness it, then hunt you down as a loose end." The priest's voice was grim. "You were never supposed to survive long enough to see this video." Zariah's stomach twisted. How did Demetrius get this footage? Marcus must have been wearing a hidden camera. Insurance in case his partners turned on him. Father Jerome moved to a cabinet and pulled out a burner phone. "We need to send this everywhere. Every news outlet, every journalist, every congressman. Make it impossible to suppress. What about Simone Pierce? The reporter on the drive. Call her first. But don't stop there. This needs to flood the internet before they can kill it. He handed her the phone. I'll upload it to several secure servers while you make the call. Zoraya's fingers fumbled as she searched the drive for Simone's number. Found it. Dialed. The phone rang twice. Hello? Simone Pierce. Who's asking? My name's Zoraya. Demetrius gave me your number. I have evidence of a government-sanctioned murder. Silence. Then, where are you? I can't tell you that, but I can send you a video file. Deputy Director Angela Hartman ordering Vernon Cross to execute a police officer named Marcus Webb. Angela Hartman? Are you serious? Simone's voice sharpened. Send it now. What's the file format? MP4. I'm uploading it to an encrypted server. I'll send you the link. Do it fast. If Hartman's involved, she's got resources to bury this before it sees daylight. Pause. Zoraya, are you safe? For now. But Demetrius. I know Demetrius. If he sent you to me, he trusts you with something important. Don't waste that trust. Send the file. Zoraya hung up and turned to Father Jerome. She's ready. The priest's fingers flew across the keyboard. Uploading now. I'm sending copies to 6 different servers in 3 countries. Even if they take one down, the others will survive. He glanced at her. I'm also sending it to 2 law professors, a civil rights attorney, and a friend at the ACLU. Within an hour, this will be in dozens of hands. Will that be enough? It has to be, because if it's not, Angela Hartman will have you killed and sweep this under the rug like it never happened. The upload bar hit 100%. Done. It's out there now. No taking it back. Zoraya slumped in the chair, exhausted. What about Demetrius? We wait. If he's alive, he'll contact us. If he's not, Father Jerome's jaw tightened. Then we make sure his sacrifice means something. Minutes crawled past like hours. Zoraya couldn't stop checking the phone. No calls. No texts. Nothing. Then the burner phone rang. She grabbed it. Hello? Zoraya. Demetrius's voice. Strained. Breathing hard. You make it to the church? Relief flooded through her. Yes. Are you okay? Define okay. I've got 2 bullet holes and a dislocated shoulder, but I'm breathing. He coughed. Did you upload the video? Yes. Sent it to Simone and 5 other places. It's spreading. Good. That's good. His voice was fading. Listen to me. Vernon knows about the video. Hartman knows. They're in damage control mode, trying to spin it as fake, doctored Russian disinformation. But it won't work. Too many people have seen it now. Where are you? Doesn't matter. I need you to do something for me. Go to the police. Ask for Detective William Price. He's clean. One of the few. Show him the evidence. Tell him everything. He'll protect you. What about you? I'll be fine. I always am. He tried to laugh, but it turned into a cough. Go now, before Hartman sends more people. Demetrius. The line went dead. Zoraya stared at the phone, her throat tight. Father Jerome put a hand on her shoulder. He's right. You need to go to the police. I'll drive you. What if Detective Price isn't clean? What if he's working for Hartman? Then we pray Demetrius's judgment is sound. Because right now, he's the only ally we have. The priest grabbed his keys. Come on. My car's in the back. They drove through mid-morning traffic, every red light feeling like an eternity. Zoraya kept watching the mirrors, expecting to see black SUVs closing in. The police station was a squat brick building with barred windows and a parking lot full of patrol cars. Father Jerome pulled up to the entrance. I'll wait here. If you're not out in 30 minutes, I'm calling every lawyer I know. Zoraya nodded and stepped out. Her legs felt like jelly. She forced them to carry her through the doors and up to the front desk. A board officer looked up. Help you? I need to speak with Detective William Price. It's urgent. What's this regarding? A murder. multiple murders, and a federal conspiracy. The officer's expression shifted. He picked up a phone. "Let me see if he's available." 5 minutes later, a man in his 50s appeared. Solid build, gray stubble, tired eyes that had seen too much. "I'm Detective Price. You asked for me? My name's Zariah. Demetrius sent me." Price's eyes narrowed. He gestured toward a hallway. "Follow me." He led her to an interview room. Small, sterile, a table and 2 chairs. A camera in the corner that may or may not be recording. He closed the door and leaned against it. "Talk." Zariah pulled out the thumb drive. 3 days ago, I witnessed evidence related to the murder of Officer Marcus Webb. I was told it was committed by a woman named Keisha Morrison. But that's not true. This video shows who really killed him. She explained everything. The night at Trayvon's apartment. Running from Keisha and Vernon Cross. Meeting Demetrius. The video of Hartman and Vernon executing Marcus in the parking garage. Price listened without interrupting. When she finished, he held out his hand. "Let me see the drive." She hesitated. "How do I know you're not working for Hartman?" "You don't. But Demetrius trusted me, and he's got good instincts about people." Price's expression softened. "I've been investigating Marcus Webb's death since they found his body. Something about the official story didn't add up. If you've got proof of who really killed him, I need to see it." Zariah handed over the drive. Price plugged it into a laptop on the table and opened the video file. She watched his face as he watched the footage. Saw his jaw clench. Saw anger flash in his eyes. When it finished, he sat back and ran a hand over his face. "Jesus Christ. Angela Hartman. You know her. Everyone knows her. She's been with the DOJ for 20 years. Spotless record. Connected to 3 senators and the governor." He looked at Zariah. "If this video's real, she's going down. But she's got powerful friends. They'll fight to protect her. The video's already out there. Sent to journalists, lawyers, activists. It's spreading. Good. That'll make it harder for them to bury." He stood. "I'm putting you in protective custody. Safe house. Armed guards. Until we can get you in front of a grand jury." "What about Demetrius?" "I'll send people to find him. If he's hurt, we'll get him medical attention." Price opened the door. "Wait here. I'll make the arrangements." He left. Zariah sat alone in the interview room, staring at the walls. She'd done it. Exposed the truth. Given the evidence to someone who could act on it. So why did she feel like she'd just signed her own death warrant? 20 minutes passed. Then 30. Price didn't come back. The door opened. But it wasn't Price. It was a woman in a business suit. Perfectly styled hair. Cold eyes. FBI badge on her belt. Deputy Director Angela Hartman. "Hello, Zariah," she said, closing the door behind her. "I think it's time we had a chat. Will Zariah make it out alive? What do you think happens next?" Zariah's blood turned to ice. Her hand instinctively moved toward her pocket where the gun Demetrius had given her rested. Heavy and cold. Hartman noticed. "I wouldn't do that if I were you. This building is full of police officers who'd be very interested in why a civilian is carrying a concealed weapon." She pulled out a chair and sat down, crossing her legs like they were having tea. "Besides, we're just going to talk. Where's Detective Price?" "Dealing with a situation. A body was found 3 blocks from here. Gunshot wounds. Multiple witnesses placing him at the scene." Hartman's smile didn't reach her eyes. "Terrible tragedy. He was a good detective." "Demetrius." She was talking about Demetrius. "You're lying," Zariah said, but her voice shook. "Am I? Check your phone. I'm sure the news is reporting it by now." Hartman leaned forward. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell everyone that video is fake. Deepfake technology. Russian propaganda designed to undermine faith in American institutions. You'll give interviews, cry on camera, apologize for being manipulated." "Why would I do that?" "Because if you don't, everyone you care about dies. Your mother in Atlanta, your brother in Detroit, Your friend Tanisha, who works at the hair salon on 5th Street. Hartman pulled out her phone and showed Zariah a photo. Her mother, walking out of a grocery store, completely unaware she was being photographed. I have people watching them right now. One phone call and they're gone. Zariah's hands clenched into fists. You can't kill everyone. I don't need to kill everyone. Just enough to make the point. Hartman pocketed her phone. Marcus Webb was a problem. He was skimming money from operations, threatening to go public unless we paid him more. He was a liability. I eliminated him. You had Vernon Cross murder him in cold blood. I had Vernon Cross protect national security interests. There's a difference. Hartman's voice was cold, clinical. Marcus was dirty. Everyone knew it. His death barely registered as news. But you're just a girl who saw something she shouldn't have. Nobody will miss you. The video's already out there. Journalists have it. Lawyers have it. You can't stop it. I can discredit it. I can bury it under layers of legal challenges and classified information claims. I can drag it out for years until people forget or stop caring. Hartman stood. But that's the messy way. The clean way is you recant. Say you were coerced by Demetrius, a known criminal with ties to organized crime. Say the video was fabricated. By the time anyone proves otherwise, the narrative will be set. I won't do it. Then your mother dies first. Tomorrow morning, car accident. Very tragic. Hartman walked to the door. You have 24 hours to decide. Use them wisely. She left. The door clicked shut. Zariah sat frozen, her mind racing through impossible choices. The door opened again. Detective Price rushed in, his face tight with concern. Are you all right? I just heard Hartman was in the building. She was here. Threatened to kill my family if I don't recant. Price swore under his breath. That confirms she's desperate. The video's spreading faster than she can contain it. 3 major news networks are running stories. Congress is demanding investigations. He pulled out his phone. I'm getting your family into protective custody right now. Where's your mother? Atlanta. But Price, she said you found a body. Said Demetrius was dead. Price's expression darkened. We did find a body. White male, mid-50s. Shot 3 times. It matches Vernon Cross's description. Zariah's breath caught. Vernon's dead. Looks like someone decided he knew too much. We're running prints now. But initial ID suggests it's him. Price made a call. I need protective details on 3 civilians. Names are Lorraine Jackson, Marcus Jackson, and Tanisha Williams. He rattled off addresses. Consider them targets of a federal investigation. Maximum security. He hung up. Your family will be safe within the hour. What about me? You stay here. We've got holding cells upstairs that are more secure than most prisons. Hartman can't touch you here without raising questions she can't answer. He gestured toward the door. Come on. Let's get you somewhere safer. They moved through the station, past officers typing reports and suspects in handcuffs. Price led her to an elevator and pressed the button for the 4th floor. When the doors opened, they stepped into a corridor lined with reinforced doors. These are high-security holding cells. We use them for witnesses in organized crime cases. He opened one of the doors. Inside was a small room with a bed, a toilet, and a narrow window with bars. It's not comfortable, but it's safe. Nobody gets in without clearance from me personally. Zariah stepped inside. The door closed behind her with a heavy thunk. She was alone again. She sat on the bed and pulled out her phone. Her hands shook as she searched for news about Demetrius. Nothing. No reports of bodies matching his description. Maybe Hartman had been lying. Maybe he was still alive. Her phone buzzed with an incoming text from an unknown number. Still breathing. Barely. Don't trust Price. Zariah's heart leaped. She typed back quickly. Where are you? Abandoned factory. Riverside District. Come alone. They're listening to everything at the station. She stared at the message. Could be a trap. Hartman could have Demetrius's phone. Could be luring her out. But what if it was really him? She looked at the door. Price said nobody could get in without his clearance. But that also meant nobody could get out. She was trapped. Her phone buzzed again. This time a photo. Demetrius, bloody and beaten, holding today's newspaper. Proof of life. 1 hour. Come alone or I'm gone forever. Zariah stood and walked to the door. Knocked hard. Detective Price. I need to use the bathroom. No answer. She knocked again, louder. Hello? Anyone? Nothing. Minutes crawled by. She was about to knock a third time when the door opened. But it wasn't Price. It was a uniformed officer she didn't recognize. Young, maybe 25. Nervous eyes. Detective Price sent me. Said you needed the bathroom? Yeah. Down the hall. Follow me. He led her out of the cell and toward a door marked women's restroom. I'll wait out here. Zariah went inside. The bathroom was empty. Small window above the sinks. She climbed onto the counter and tried it. Locked. But the glass was old, the frame rusted. She grabbed a metal soap dispenser and slammed it against the corner of the window. Once, twice. The third time, the glass cracked. The fourth time, it shattered. She knocked out the remaining shards and squeezed through. The drop was 10 feet to an alley below. She landed hard, rolling to absorb the impact. Her ankle screamed, but she forced herself up and ran. The Riverside district was 2 miles away. She ran through back alleys and side streets, staying off main roads, keeping her hood up. Her lungs burned. Her ankle throbbed. But she didn't stop. The factory appeared like a skeleton against the afternoon sky. Broken windows, graffiti-covered walls, chain-link fence with holes cut through it. She slipped inside through a loading dock door. The interior was dark, lit only by sunlight filtering through gaps in the roof. Machinery stood silent and rusted. Rats scattered at her footsteps. Demetrius? She called softly. A shape moved in the shadows. Demetrius emerged, limping, one arm cradled against his chest. His face was swollen, caked with dried blood. But he was alive. You came, he said, his voice rough. Of course I came. She rushed to him. You look terrible. Feel worse. He leaned against a support beam. Did you upload the video? Yes, it's everywhere. News networks, social media, everywhere. She helped him sit down. Hartman came to the station. Threatened my family. Said she'd kill them if I don't recant. She's desperate. That's good. Desperate people make mistakes. He winced as he adjusted his position. Vernon's dead. I found his body before the police did. Single gunshot to the back of the head. Execution style. Hartman's cleaning house. Yeah, and we're next on the list. He pulled out a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket. I found this on Vernon's body. It's a list. Names and addresses. People involved in whatever operation Marcus was part of. Zariah took the paper. 10 names. Some she recognized as local criminals. Others were unfamiliar. But at the bottom, one name made her blood run cold. Detective William Price. Price is on the list, she whispered. I know. That's why I told you not to trust him. Demetrius struggled to his feet. He's not trying to protect you. He's trying to control you. Keep you contained until Hartman decides what to do with you. But he seemed genuinely concerned. He's a good actor. Has to be to stay alive in this game. Demetrius started walking deeper into the factory. Come on. We can't stay here. If you found me, so can they. Where are we going? To see the one person who might have answers. The person who knows all of Hartman's secrets. He looked back at her. We're going to visit Marcus Webb's widow. Zariah followed him through the factory and out a back exit. They emerged onto a street lined with abandoned warehouses and empty lots. A car sat waiting, engine running. An older woman behind the wheel. This is Gloria, Demetrius said. She's going to drive us. Gloria nodded at Zariah. Get in, quickly. They climbed into the back seat. Gloria pulled away from the curb, driving carefully, obeying every traffic law. Marcus's wife lives in Brookhaven. Quiet neighborhood. No police presence that I could see. How do you know her? Zariah asked. Marcus and I went way back. Before he got dirty. Before he got involved with Hartman's operation. Gloria's voice was heavy with old pain. His wife, Nicole, she didn't know what he was into, thought he was just a cop doing his job. When he died, she was devastated. Does she know the truth now? Some of it. Enough to be angry. Enough to want justice. Gloria turned onto a highway. She's been collecting evidence. Documents Marcus kept hidden. Insurance in case his partners turned on him. Which they did. They drove in silence for 20 minutes. Zariah watched the city slide past, wondering if she'd live to see another sunrise. Wondering if any of this would matter. Gloria pulled onto a tree-lined street with neat houses and manicured lawns. She parked 3 houses down from a white colonial with blue shutters. That's Nicole's place. I'll wait here. You've got 15 minutes before we need to move again. Demetrius and Zariah approached the house. Before they could knock, the door opened. A woman in her 40s stood there, eyes red from crying, jaw set with determination. You're the girl from the video, Nicole said. The witness. Yes, ma'am. And you're Demetrius. Marcus mentioned you once. Said you were one of the few honest criminals he knew. Nicole stepped aside. Come in. Quickly. They entered a living room filled with family photos. Marcus smiling with his wife and 2 kids. Happier times. Simpler times. Nicole closed the curtains and locked the door. I know why you're here. You want to know what Marcus was involved in. Yes, Demetrius said. Nicole walked to a bookshelf and pulled out a false bottom. Inside was a flash drive. Everything's on here. Names, dates, operations. Marcus was part of a task force run by Hartman. They called it Project Sentinel. Their job was to eliminate threats to national security using extrajudicial methods. Assassinations, Zariah said. Yes, but Marcus started questioning the targets. Some were obvious criminals, drug lords, terrorists, but others were journalists, activists, whistleblowers, people who asked too many questions. Nicole's voice cracked. He told me he was going to expose it, go public. 2 days later, he was dead. She handed the flash drive to Demetrius. This is his legacy, his final act. Use it. Burn them all down. Demetrius pocketed the drive. We will. I promise. A car engine roared outside. Tires screeched. Gloria's voice shouted through an open window. They're here. Run. The front window exploded. Gunfire erupted. Nicole screamed and dropped to the floor. Demetrius grabbed Zariah's hand and pulled her toward the back of the house. They crashed through the kitchen and out the back door as bullets chewed through the walls behind them. They ran across the backyard and vaulted over a fence into the next yard. Dogs barked. People shouted. Behind them, heavy footsteps pursued. They cut through 3 more yards before emerging onto a side street. Gloria's car was nowhere to be seen. This way, Demetrius gasped, pulling her toward a dense patch of woods at the end of the street. They plunged into the trees, branches whipping at their faces, roots trying to trip them. Zariah's lungs burned. Her legs screamed, but fear drove her forward. A voice called out behind them. You can't run forever, Zariah. We'll find you. It was Hartman's voice. She was here personally, which meant this was the endgame. They burst out of the woods onto a train track. In the distance, a light approached. A freight train moving slow but steady. Can you jump a train? Demetrius asked. Never tried. Now's a good time to learn. He grabbed her hand as the train grew closer. When I say go, you run alongside it and grab that ladder on the side of the car. Don't think. Just grab and hold on. The train rumbled past. Demetrius squeezed her hand. Go! They ran. Zariah's hand shot out and caught cold metal. Her feet left the ground. She hung on with everything she had as the train carried her away from Hartman, from the gunfire, from certain death. Demetrius pulled himself up beside her. Blood soaked through his shirt from wounds reopened by the effort. But they were alive. For now. Can they survive long enough to expose the truth? What would you do in Zariah's position? The freight train rattled through the outskirts of the city, carrying them away from Brookhaven and deeper into industrial wasteland. Zariah clung to the ladder, her muscles screaming, wind whipping tears from her eyes. Demetrius climbed higher and kicked open a cargo door. Inside, before someone spots us, they scrambled into the darkness. The door slammed shut behind them, cutting off the wind but leaving them in pitch black. Zariah's hands found stacked wooden crates. She sat down heavily, gasping for air. "You still have the flash drive?" she asked. "Yeah." Demetrius's voice came from somewhere to her left. A lighter flicked on, illuminating his face in harsh shadows. He looked worse than before, if that was possible. Fresh blood dripped from his forearm. "We need to get this to someone who can publish it. Someone Hartman can't touch. Simone Pierce. She's good, but she's one person. Hartman could have her killed or discredited before she publishes." He extinguished the lighter, plunging them back into darkness. "We need to go bigger. International media. Multiple outlets simultaneously. Make it impossible to suppress." Zariah pulled out her phone. No signal. They were in a dead zone. How long until this train stops? No idea. Could be 20 minutes. Could be 2 hours. The sound of him shifting position. Pained grunt. "Tell me about your family. What did Price say about protecting them?" "He said he was sending protective details. Maximum security." He was lying. Price works for Hartman. Anything he said was designed to keep you compliant. Demetrius coughed. "Wet and painful. We need to warn them. Soon as we get signal, you call your mother. Tell her to go to a hotel. Pay cash. Use a fake name. Stay off social media. She won't believe me. She'll think I'm being paranoid. Then be paranoid. Paranoid people survive. Trusting people end up in shallow graves." His breathing was labored now. "My sister trusted the wrong people. Trusted the system to protect her. Look where that got her." The train began to slow. Brakes squealed. Metal groaned against metal. Through cracks in the cargo door, Zariah could see lights. A rail yard. "We jump as soon as it stops," Demetrius said. "Stay low. Avoid security cameras. Head for that warehouse complex on the east side. There's a homeless encampment there. We can blend in, get our bearings." The train shuddered to a halt. Demetrius kicked the door open and they dropped to the gravel. The impact sent pain shooting through Zariah's ankle, but she bit back the scream and kept moving. They ran across multiple tracks, ducking between cars, using the darkness for cover. Security lights swept the yard, but they stayed ahead of them. Ghosts in the night. The warehouse complex was a maze of corrugated metal and broken concrete. Fires burned in oil drums. People huddled under tarps and cardboard. Nobody looked at them. Nobody asked questions. In places like this, invisibility was survival. Demetrius led her to a collapsed section of wall, and they slipped through into an abandoned loading bay. He sank down against a pillar, breathing hard. "Check your phone. We need signal." Zariah pulled it out. 2 bars. Enough. She dialed her mother's number. It rang 4 times before going to voicemail. She tried again. Same result. "She's not answering. Try your brother." She dialed Marcus. It rang once and a man answered. Not her brother. "Hello? Who is this? Where's Marcus? Who's asking?" The voice was professional, controlled. Cop voice. Zariah hung up. Her hands shook. "Someone else has his phone." Sounded like police. "They've already got them." Demetrius closed his eyes. Hartman moved fast. Faster than I expected. "Your family's leverage now. She'll use them to force you to recant. Then we get them back." "We can't. Not directly. We're 2 people against a federal operation with unlimited resources." He opened his eyes and looked at her. "But we can make their leverage worthless. If the truth is already public, if the whole world knows what Hartman did, killing your family becomes pointless. The damage is done. So we publish everything. Right now." "Yeah." But we need internet access. Real internet, not phone signal. Somewhere we can upload large files to multiple servers simultaneously. Demetrius struggled to his feet. There's a public library 3 blocks north. They have computers. If we can get in. Libraries are closed at this hour.